In a quiet town lived a woman named Sarah. She had a comfortable life, a lovely house, and a husband named Tom. They had been married for 5 years. Tom was a good man, hardworking and caring, but lately, Sarah felt something was missing. Their life had become routine, and the spark in their relationship seemed to fade. One day, Tom came home excited. "I hired a new driver for us, Sarah," he said with a smile. "His name is Alex, and he's young and energetic. I think you'll like him." Sarah nodded, trying to hide her curiosity. "That sounds nice, Tom. I hope he's good." The next day, Alex arrived at their house. He was tall, with dark hair and bright blue eyes that sparkled with confidence. He wore a crisp uniform that showed off his fit physique. When he smiled at Sarah, she felt a flutter in her stomach. She quickly shook off the feeling, reminding herself that she was a married woman. As the days passed, Sarah found herself spending more time with Alex. He drove her to the grocery store, picked her up from yoga classes, and took her to visit friends. Each time they were together, Sarah felt a strange pull towards him. He was charming and funny, always making her laugh. Tom often had work commitments, leaving Sarah alone with Alex. One afternoon, they were stuck in traffic, and Sarah felt the tension in the air. Alex turned to her and said, "You know, you're really beautiful, Sarah." His words sent a shiver down her spine. She looked away, trying to hide her blush. "Thanks, Alex. That's sweet of you to say," she replied, her heart racing. As the weeks went by, Sarah tried to ignore her feelings, but they only grew stronger. Alex was attentive and thoughtful. He remembered her favorite snacks and played her favorite music in the car. There was a connection between them that she couldn't deny. One evening, after dropping Tom off at a business meeting, Alex suggested they grab a coffee together. "What do you say, Sarah? Just a quick stop?" he asked, his eyes sparkling. Sarah hesitated but agreed. "Sure, why not?" They went to a cozy cafe and sat at a small table by the window. The conversation flowed easily, and Sarah felt herself relax. Alex made her laugh, and for the first time in a long while, she felt alive. As they chatted, Sarah noticed how close they were sitting. She could feel the warmth radiating from his body. Their eyes locked, and she felt a rush of excitement. In that moment, she knew she was crossing a line, but she couldn't help herself. After their coffee, Alex drove her home. The tension in the car was palpable. As he parked the car, Sarah turned to him, her heart pounding. "Thank you for today. I had a great time," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Alex leaned closer, his eyes searching hers. "I'm glad, Sarah. You deserve to be happy." And before she knew it, he leaned in and kissed her softly. The kiss sent shockwaves through Sarah's body. It was tender yet filled with an undeniable passion. She felt alive, and for a moment, she forgot all about her marriage. But as quickly as it started, it ended. Alex pulled away, his eyes wide with surprise. "I'm so sorry, Sarah. I didn't mean to." Before he could finish, Sarah spoke, her voice trembling. "No, don't apologize. I wanted that too." The admission hung in the air between them, heavy with unspoken desire. From that day on, everything changed. Sarah and Alex began to meet more often, under the guise of errands and coffee runs. Each encounter brought them closer, igniting a fire inside her that she thought had long extinguished. They shared stolen kisses, laughter, and glances filled with longing. But guilt began to creep in. Sarah loved Tom, but she couldn't resist the thrill she felt with Alex. He made her feel desired in a way she hadn't felt in years. The excitement of their secret meetings was intoxicating but also terrifying. One evening, after a particularly passionate kiss, Alex looked at her with intensity. "Sarah, I can't stop thinking about you. I want to be with you, but I don't want to ruin your life." Sarah's heart raced. "I don't know what to do, Alex. I love Tom, but I can't ignore how I feel about you." He reached for her hand, his touch sending shivers down her spine. "We can't keep doing this, but I want you to know how much you mean to me." Tears filled Sarah's eyes as she realized the weight of their situation. They were caught in a web of desire and confusion. "I wish things were different," she said softly. As the days turned into weeks, Sarah found it harder to maintain her double life. Tom noticed her mood swings in the late nights. "Is everything okay, Sarah? You seem distant," he asked one night, concern etched on his face. "I'm fine, Tom. Just a lot on my mind," she replied, forcing a smile. But the truth was that her heart was torn. One night, after a particularly heated exchange with Alex, Sarah returned home feeling both exhilarated and guilty. She lay in bed next to Tom, who was asleep, and stared at the ceiling. The weight of her choices pressed heavily on her chest. Then, one fateful afternoon, everything changed. Tom surprised her by coming home early. "I thought we could spend some quality time together," he said, wrapping his arms around her. Sarah forced a smile, trying to hide her anxiety. "That sounds great, Tom." But her mind was racing, thinking about Alex and their last encounter. Tom suggested they go for a drive, and Sarah felt a wave of panic wash over her. "Maybe we could just stay in," she suggested, hoping to avoid any chance of running into Alex. But Tom insisted, and they hopped into the car. As they drove, Sarah's heart raced. What if they saw Alex? Just as they turned a corner, Sarah spotted Alex walking on the sidewalk. Her heart sank, and she felt a rush of fear. "Tom, look, there's Alex," she exclaimed, panic rising in her voice. Tom turned, and their eyes met. Alex smiled and waved, but Sarah felt like the world had come crashing down. Tom's expression changed, and Sarah could see the confusion on his face. "Do you know him?" Tom asked, his voice tight with suspicion. "Yes, he's our driver," Sarah said quickly, trying to downplay the situation. Tom narrowed his eyes, studying her. "You seem awfully close. Is there something you're not telling me?" Sarah's heart raced as she tried to think of a way to explain. "No, it's not like that. We just talk sometimes." Tom remained silent, and Sarah felt the tension in the air. She knew she had to come clean, but fear held her back. When they returned home, Tom confronted her. "Sarah, I need you to be honest with me. Is there something going on between you and Alex?" Tears filled Sarah's eyes as she realized she couldn't hide the truth any longer. I have feelings for him, Tom. But I love you too. I don't know what to do." Tom's face fell, and Sarah felt her heart break for him. "How long has this been going on?" he asked, his voice strained. "Just a few weeks," she confessed, her voice trembling. "I didn't want to hurt you, but I couldn't help it." Tom looked away, pain etched on his face. "I trusted you, Sarah. How could you do this to me? I'm so sorry, Tom. I never meant for this to happen," she cried, feeling the weight of her choices crashing down on her. In that moment, everything changed. Tom's hurt was palpable, and Sarah knew she had shattered their marriage. She felt lost, caught between the man she loved and the thrill of her forbidden desire. As the days passed, Tom moved out, needing space to process everything. Sarah was left alone, haunted by her choices. She missed Tom, but she also felt a pull towards Alex. One evening, Alex called her. "Sarah, can we talk? I need to see you." Her heart raced at the thought of him. "Yes, where should we meet?" They agreed to meet at a park, and as Sarah walked through the trees, she felt a mix of excitement and guilt. When she saw Alex, her heart soared, but she couldn't shake the feeling of loss for Tom. "Hey, you," Alex said, pulling her into a warm embrace. "I've missed you." "I've missed you too," she replied, feeling the familiar spark between them. They sat on a bench, and the conversation flowed easily. But Sarah couldn't shake her feelings of guilt. "I don't know what to do, Alex. I hurt Tom, and I feel terrible about it." Alex took her hand, his touch igniting her desire. "You deserve to be happy, Sarah. If that's with me, then let's explore it. But I don't want to be the reason you hurt." Sarah felt torn. She wanted to be with Alex, but her heart ached for Tom. "I don't know if I can do this," she said softly. "Take your time," Alex replied, his eyes filled with understanding. "But just know that I'm here for you." As they talked, Sarah felt the walls she had built around her heart begin to crumble. She knew she had to make a choice, but it was a choice that would change her life forever. In the coming weeks, Sarah found herself in a whirlwind of emotions. She missed Tom and the stability he brought to her life, but the connection she had with Alex was undeniable. They spent more time together, sharing laughter and stolen kisses, but guilt always lingered in the background. One night, after a particularly passionate evening with Alex, Sarah lay in bed, her heart racing. She knew she had to face the truth. She couldn't keep living in this limbo. The next day, she decided to meet Tom one last time. She needed to explain everything and take responsibility for her actions. They met at a cafe, and when Tom walked in, Sarah felt her heart ache. He looked different, more distant and hurt. "Hi, Sarah," he said quietly, sitting down across from her. "Hi, Tom. I'm glad you came," she replied, her voice trembling. "I wanted to hear what you had to say," he said, his eyes searching hers. "I'm so sorry for everything. I never meant for you to get hurt. I was lost, and I made terrible choices," she confessed, her voice breaking. Tom sighed, looking away. "I just don't understand why you didn't come to me. We could have worked through it together. I know, and I regret not being honest with you. You deserve better," she said, tears spilling down her cheeks. Tom's expression softened slightly, but the hurt was still there. "What do you want, Sarah? Do you want to be with him?" Sarah took a deep breath, her heart racing. "I don't know. Alex makes me feel alive, but I also love you. I don't want to lose you, but I can't ignore what's happened." Tom looked pained, and Sarah could see the struggle in his eyes. "I need time to think, Sarah. This is a lot to process." As they parted ways, Sarah felt a sense of loss. She knew she had hurt the man she loved, and now she had to face the consequences of her actions. In the following weeks, Sarah tried to navigate her feelings. She spent time with Alex, but the guilt weighed heavily on her heart. She knew she had to make a decision, but it was one she didn't want to face. Finally, after much contemplation, she realized she had to choose honesty. She wanted to be true to herself and to the people she cared about. One evening, she called Tom and asked to meet. "Tom, I've made a decision. Can we talk?" They met at the same cafe, and Sarah felt a wave of nervousness wash over her. Tom looked tired, and she could see the pain in his eyes. "Hey," she said softly, taking a seat. "Hey," he replied, his voice flat. I've been thinking a lot about everything. I love you, Tom, but I can't ignore my feelings for Alex. I need to be honest with you, she said, her heart pounding. Tom looked away, and Sarah felt her heart sink. So you want to be with him? I don't know what the future holds, but I can't keep lying to myself or you. I want to explore this, but you deserve to know the truth, she said, her voice trembling. Tom sighed heavily, and Sarah could see the hurt in his eyes. I appreciate your honesty, but it hurts, Sarah. I thought we had something real. You do mean everything to me, Tom. But I also need to figure out what I truly want. I don't want to hold you back, she replied, tears spilling down her cheeks. After a long silence, Tom nodded slowly. I understand. It's better to be honest than to keep pretending. I need time to heal, Sarah. As they parted ways, Sarah felt a mix of sadness and relief. She knew she had made the right choice, but it didn't make it any easier. In the following weeks, Sarah focused on herself. She spent time with Alex, but the thrill of their connection was now tinged with guilt. She knew that she was taking a risk, but for the first time in a long time, she felt free. As she navigated her new life, Sarah realized that love is complicated. It can be beautiful and painful, exhilarating and terrifying. She had learned valuable lessons about honesty and the importance of following her heart. In the end, Sarah chose to embrace her feelings for Alex while cherishing the memories she had with Tom. Life was uncertain, but she was ready to face whatever came next, knowing that she had finally been true to herself.